Rutherford Issues with Bryan Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric, and since 1936, MTE has provided light, comfort, and connection to our community. And as your trusted energy advisor, MTE is always here to help you. Connect online at MTE.com or download the My MTE app. State Representative Mike Sparks joins me here and a guest on the phone. So, good morning, sir.
Hey, Roger.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing good.
He didn't even reply to me, Roger. He just kept going. He just, I said hello, and he didn't even say anything to me. But, that's how it goes.
What it is, Brian, I've got my helper here today, my great-granddaughter. She kind of distracted me 1 second. She'll be 6 in December. I see her every now and then. She walked in, and can I get her to say just hello?
Yeah, I was talking about Mike being distracted, but that's all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Hello.
Well, hello there.
Hey.
But anyway, that's what distracted me. It wasn't you or Mike. Sorry. Okay, we're good now.
Oh, no, you weren't distracted until just now, but Mike's always distracted. We're used to it, aren't we?
Yeah.
Roger,
Sorry, Mike.
we were talking earlier just now about Sam Davis' home being haunted, and Bryan Barrett doesn't believe that it's haunted. He doesn't believe in those kind of things.
Well, I don't really believe in it, but it's happening. I'm telling you, Brian. I'm telling you, man. I don't either. And another thing happened to me just the other day. You want me to tell the story a little bit about it?
Why, sure.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this one right here is a new one. Okay, the other ones, Mike makes fun of me. He tries to mock the sound I make when I do a lady's voice. But the other day, it was actually a guy. I walked into the museum. And I knew the director, Jenny Lamb's son, was here, and he's like 16, and he's helping out around here. And so I walked in the museum, and I heard somebody say, "Hey, Roger." And I walked on. I said, "Well, I'll be with you in a minute, man." And I came back around. I said, he must have went in the office. And I said, "What'd you need?" And he said, "What are you talking about?" And Jenny said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, he's actually, like I said, he's actually, been over the whole time." She said, "No, he hasn't left." So I don't know what that one was, but most time it's actually women saying it.
I bet it was Mike peeking around the corner and saying, "Hey, Roger," and then he ran.
But you're probably
idea,
right.
though.
You would probably do something like that.
I know, see? And if Mike makes fun of you, he has no room to make fun of, anyone because of the stories that he's told about Sam Davis' home, too. I guess.
got a lot of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We had guys, calling in, and not just me. It's crazy. I mean, hearing things, but there's other guys that actually call in and told their stories. And like I said, I've got several. And like I said, the one he likes to make fun of me on this one. But I've heard my name called out twice, but women, okay.
Well, you had a guy you said, too.
Yeah, that's the one he was just talking about.
New.
Yeah,
That's new, the new one. But there's a lady on the other crew. And I talked to her, the lady that worked with her. She worked with me yesterday for a little bit. She said, and I was telling her, he said, "I'm telling you, Roger." She came down here and said, somebody was calling Roger's name out in that house. I go, "Well, why didn't they call your name out?" It's me, like, what have I done?
Yeah.
Roger?
Yes.
Roger.
Oh, that I didn't say anything.
Oh, yeah, huh? Okay, that's got to be, okay.
Just kidding.
He tried to set me up. He tried to set me up other night on the show, and he kept saying, and I said, "Man."
I've got. Well, I won't say who it is, but it's somebody related to me, and they seen a ghost in the house when we were kids, and I'll ask him about it. And this guy's, very credible. He's I'll just say he's an undercover agent, and I'm really proud of him. And I said, "Well, tell me that story."
So your brother said what now?
Well, okay. Anyway, he says,
I mean, you've already told us his whole background.
He'll start telling me the story, and I start laughing, and I don't even talk about it no more because he gets mad because I start laughing at him. But I mean, it's just I'm not saying he's lying to. I believe him, but I just get tickled when he shares it. But we live behind the Beatty home off Ross Drive, which is what Charles Davis copied to build, the design to copy to build their house, the Sam Davis home. But no, I mean, I believe you. I just never had anything. And Marty, Marty Lupman's talked about a lot of craziness. I've just never seen anything. Who has?
Marty Luffin and Jeremy Smithson.
Oh yeah, Jeremy.
He's actually seen the over here at the graveyard. Which what's that got to do with this? Well, that's right beside the Sam Davis home on the golf course. He was cutting grass over there, and he thought he saw I believe it was, a soldier.
I don't think. I was thinking just a man looking at the grave. I don't think it's a soldier. I think it's a man. He said, "Look at the grave."
Once he approached him, he said it wasn't nobody there. He said he swore it was somebody in that graveyard, and you can actually almost see that. You can see part of the golf course on certain days here from Sam Davis home when the foliage and stuff has died out. So that's how close we are to it.
Yeah, well, it was probably part of the original land or close by or whatnot back in the day. Anyway,
this is a Rucker, I think the Rucker farm or Rucker place back in the day.
Gotcha.
That joined it. Yes, sir.
So, being October, and we always seem to talk about it this time of the year, ghost tours, I guess, is that started already, I'm assuming?
Oh, yes, sir. We had our first night last week, first 2 nights. It was, and it really went well. And our last 2 nights of the ghost tours is this Friday and Saturday night from 6 to 10. And the wagons, the last one leaves out around 9 o'clock because you take a hayride around the property, around the creek there, and all kind of things happen there. Then you'll go through the house and head down to the cemetery.
Is it about, one ride an hour? Is that how you do that?
No, they all
got more than
15. That. Oh yeah, well, as soon as it fills up 20, there's another one. The wagons are set up.
I see.
With benches in it and stuff, but it'll hold up to 20 people, and they'll be like back to back to back. We're hoping it'll be that way again this year.
Well, that's good, and I'm sure this is what part of what helps keep the Sam Davis home open and to the public.
Exactly. That's our biggest fundraiser, doing this right here. And like I said, it's all, the ghost tours is all themed during the war back then. And we have inside the house, we'll have it set up as Sam's funeral because they actually had his funeral in the house. We have it set up. And so it's pretty cool. You've done it before, haven't you, Bryan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, his funeral wasn't in the fall, though, right?
Now, his funeral was actually December the 24th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. He was executed the 27th, and they brought him back. He was not embalmed. He was buried the second time, the 24th.
Interesting.
So that was, and one thing it had going for him, it was winter, and they did have it in a seal, one of those seal coffin-like things, but still, I've heard, we have seen the writings where they had to burn the curtains in that room.
Wow.
I guess back in that day when you paid your respects, it was kind of difficult to go through in many ways, including that one.
Right. Yes, and like I said, people waiting for family members to get there, maybe any different things, reason they would wait, but like it took it so long to get here because they had to transport him a wagon and they had to go get the proper papers, the war going on to actually bring him back and all that. And in this whole time, the mother did not know, they weren't really for sure that it was actually him. And brought him up to mom's looking out the window, heard a wagon, saw a coffin, his mom Jane, and she fainted. And in the room upstairs, we always point that out on tours where she passed out. So, but a lot of these writings that we get is actually the sister Andromeda or Andromeda, depends on what part of the country you're from. She was actually 14. She's buried here on the property. She was 14 when Sam died, and she lived to 1938. And around the early 30s, they started doing tours, and she actually did 10 of those tours herself. The first tour, she was the first tour guide.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're going by what she says. So
right.
Her writings and things. So it's pretty cool.
So, you said that they weren't sure that it was Sam who was dead. Did they? How did they figure that out?
Well, they got word as a boy from Smyrna. Okay,
I see.
But they wouldn't. But back then, they didn't. Of course, communication. So they were. So the overseer John Kennedy and the brother Oscar, which is buried out here, was 16 at the time. They went to Pulaski and actually had to ID him. Make sure that was him. And you can imagine your 16-year-old brother seeing if that was you, and you'd have been in the ground for a little while. And sure enough, it was. And like I said, the next thing you know, that confirmed it, to the mom when they saw him come to the driveway. So that's how that went down.
And so then they brought him from Pulaski back to Smyrna.
And the second time he was actually buried where you turn into the drive across the creek there. That's where he was buried the second time. There's a bunch of houses over now.
Yeah. Did they say why he was buried the first time and not taken back to the family at that point? Or were they just going to leave him there?
I guess maybe because of the war going on and all that, and the mom wanted him here and stuff. I mean, I'm not sure on that reason, but they wanted him back home, and but what actually made Sam famous, as all said and done, was actually the Union soldiers. His bravery. Not giving up that Captain Shaw or Coleman Scouts, I guess they would call him. But his fictitious name was E. Coleman, but his real name is Captain Shaw, and he was actually captured. He was there too, and he wouldn't give him up. And that's why they hung him. That's who they were actually looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, sad story. Roger, y'all have got something you've been advocating for is the story of old Jefferson. Y'all have got some kind of reunion this weekend, don't you?
Yeah. Yes, we actually do. And, it's going to be at 1 o'clock from 1 to 4 at Davenport Farm at 601 Rock Springs Road in Smyrna. And, anybody went to Jefferson School or just wants to come and, meet some people who went to Jefferson, or you may have friends there. But we're actually going to have Mr. Charles Jones, which was on your show there, Mike, about a couple of months ago.
Yeah, great
He's
guy.
95, and he actually drove up to the station. I'm going to meet him at the depot, and he's going to be over there, and he's going to be the oldest one in attendance. But as far as the oldest person is actually my aunt. She's like 3 months older, but she thinks she can't make it.
She can't. Yeah.
She hadn't had her flu shot, and I'm thinking, well, she's taking these precautions and stuff. That's probably why she lived 95 so far. That she's careful. That's what she does.
Yeah. Mr. Jones is such a great guy. He owned part of Hickory Hollow Mall and sold it, and he ended up buying
astronauts. I looked it up.
He ended up buying. I happened to say something to Pastor Brenda Bryan in Laverne. Her church sadly burned down about 8 years ago, and not one cross was burned, not one Bible was hurt.
Right, I heard that story.
Everything else just melted out. I just happened to say something to her about my son's going to sell his house, and we were just going to sell herself. And she said, "Mike, I'm looking for something." And he ended up putting up the money for her. She finally got her own mortgage here recently. But one thing that man done, these title ponds and crooked check into cash places and all this kind of bogus stuff that goes on.
I own a few of those, Mike, so watch what you're saying.
Well, it is a bunch of crooks. I mean, I'm just telling you. But you know what that dude did? He paid off. I don't think he's going to mind me sharing his story. He paid off, I heard, like $85,000 or something to people that had been victimized by those groups like that. And he has got a heart. And you had a great idea because we want to save that old King's John's home on Old Jefferson.
Yes, you're exactly right. But like I said, also one of those astronauts, all the merchandise, he bought all that out and gave it all to charity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All that. But, that's an old Jefferson boy.
Well,
so
what is so cool?
Come from there.
This guy, I got to sit down with him a couple of weeks ago. He's working on a book, and he remembers going down Jefferson Pike before Seward Air Force Base was built. Grasp that for a second.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't believe. I was like, wait a second, this can't be true. He remembers, I guess, driving by, going to Old Nashville Highway because I don't think Mercer Road wasn't built, and seeing the old Gooch farm there.
Yeah, well, a thing I actually come up with is, he was actually in class with my, I had the one uncle killed in Normandy, and I had the other one that died in a car wreck, 1948. And he was in the same class as Mr. Jones, and I got that picture. And my aunt actually identified just about all of them. She could remember. I can't even remember what I did yesterday.
Yeah, well, for folks that don't know, people may not know what we're talking about. Tell the story real quick of old Jefferson and really the federal government just taking everybody's land. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, like I said, my mom was actually born there, and my great-great-grandparents had a big plantation out there that's about this. Looked just like Sam Davis' home. There were Creeches, Swains, and Hunters was my family, the ones that was out there. Anyway, from 1803 to about 1811, it was the county seat, and then they put in Percy Priest Dam. And that was supposedly going to put the town underwater, which never happened because, the tour we went on this year, Mike, the one you got lost on.
Yeah.
It was it was actually about 80 people, the most we've had, and Mike took the.
I wasn't. A bunch of us got lost. Just for clarification,
I can see Mike out there just wandering around all by himself.
Like, hey, this looks familiar.
He's got his phone recording something, and then all of a sudden he can't find his way back.
It's easy to get lost out there.
Happened, Brian.
Yeah.
Oh.
They passed the same pole 3 times. I go, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. But it's happened before.
Yeah, he gets lost in the supermarket.
You get lost out there, I'm telling you.
So
you never say that you're kin to Davy Crockett or anybody like a trailblazer.
No,
I got you.
Pioneer.
Okay.
So if anybody's interested in like this history and whatnot, can they come to this deal on Saturday?
Yes, sir. Yes, I talked to Miss Joy. It's this Joyce Leonard this morning. Her mom was my third and fourth grade teacher at Old Jefferson.
Yeah.
And I asked her, she said, "Oh yeah, if they want to, meet, talk, and all that, come on out. It's from 1 to 4." And like I said, and we got a bunch of Old Jefferson people and people just interested in the story or want to meet some historians out there. We got several out there.
It's 1 to
Mr.
4.
Jones will be there.
1 to 4. And where is it at?
It's at the Davenport Farms, 601 Rock Springs Road in Smyrna. And the Davenport Farm, Amy Davenport, she actually went to Old Jefferson the 6th grade. The last year was there, 1966.
All right.
She went there. So that's the connection with the Davenport Farm. That's why she wants to, I guess, has it out there.
Richard, we gotta run here, but I appreciate you being with us today.
All right. See you now.
Mike.
All right. See y'all later. Thank you.
Appreciate it, and don't get lost getting out of here.
I'm trying not to. Thank you.
Don't forget, if you want to check back the podcast, we'll have it up shortly at WGNSradio.com or watch it on Big G TV on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Have a great day, everybody.